rolling, baby. You know what time it is.
Keep on rolling, baby. Hands up, now hands down. Back up, back up. Tell me what you gonna do now. Breathe in, now breathe out. Hands up, now hands down. Back up, back up. Tell me what you gonna do now. Keep rolling, 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 rolling. Keep rolling, 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 rolling.
After his eye-opening performance this past weekend, it's safe to say Ty Wigginton is pretty fired up about his play recently, and as you're about to see shortly, getting excited is the theme of tonight's edition of Double Coverage.
Yeah, when the Rockies started the Yankees series with a 4-2 win on Friday, fans figured it would be another dominant interleague set for their team, especially as it's been 7 years since New York swept Colorado. Hello and welcome to Double Coverage. I'm Josina Anderson alongside Zubin Mehenti.
The Rockies have had players carry them for stretches this season, and the men of the moment are no doubt Jason Giambi and Wigginton. The latter hit 3 home runs in this 3-game series, but would it be enough for the all-important series win? To the Bronx we go. There's Yankee skipper Joe Girardi, who was the opening day catcher for the Colorado Rockies in 1993, and we pick it up with no score in the second. Wigginton is at the plate, one swing of the bat, and just like that, he gives the Rockies a 1-0 lead. There was more to come from him.
Yes, move to the 6th. Wigginton at the plate off the 3-2 pitch, and Wigginton, who has been hot in this series, bangs his second solo shot in this game, his second multi-homer game this week. 4-3 Roxy.
Back and forth affair all afternoon. We're tied at 4. Eduardo Nunez through the left side. Pinch hitter Chris Dickerson rounds third. Heading home, he's in safely in New York, is up 5-4.
Yeah, Yankees now pouring it on. Mark Teixeira with nobody on, bangs it into left field facing Matt Reynolds, his 23rd long ball on the season. Yankees win it 6-4. It was New York's first series win against the Rocks since a sweep in old Yankee Stadium in 2004. Z.
You know, I haven't changed anything from the first day of spring as far as approach. I just seem to be executing a lot better, and you know, I think it's getting comfortable being a Rocky, and that probably has a lot to do with it.
Speaking of the team, they will be in Chicago tomorrow for a makeup game with the Cubs. Then it's back to Coors Field as interleague play continues with the White Sox and the Royals, who are each in town for 3 apiece.
All right, and now for an episode of VH1's Basketball Wives, now renamed Basketball Coaches.
My favorite show.
Yeah, well, starring George Karl and Adrian Dantley of the Denver Nuggets. You know, just as the Denver Nuggets rejoice from a strong night at the NBA draft, the good vibes have gone bad, replaced now with accusations of backstabbing and spoiled friendships. As assistant coach and Hall of Fame player Adrian Dantley announced, his contract has not been renewed by the team.
Josina, the way this all unraveled only adds intrigue. Public finger pointing at the heart of it all, something you rarely see in the NBA, especially between coaches on the very same staff.
Yeah, and in an interview with the New York Post and Chris Thomason on DenverStiffs.com, Dantley believes he was let go after reacting to his fellow Nuggets assistants approaching George Karl about rotating into Denver's front row during games as opposed to sitting behind. Because Dantley didn't relent, he believes he wasn't renewed and is frustrated out of a job, especially given his status as the team's interim head coach when Karl battled throat cancer and his consideration as the team's lead assistant. Clearly now, Dantley feels betrayed, Z.
Josina, there are some hard feelings here. Dantley said, quote, "This had to do with a whole lot of backstabbing. I got fired because I wouldn't rotate," end quote. He then wrapped up his feelings on Karl in Denver by saying, quote, "What upset me is the loyalty you show to someone and you get screwed," end quote.
I hope things work out for Adrian Dantley. To soccer, it seems just seconds ago, USA was riding high after a 2-0 lead in the Gold Cup final against Mexico Saturday. Less than 24 hours later, USA goalie Tim Howard is calling CONCACAF a disgrace. Howard says the controversial governing body should be ashamed for a post-match ceremony that was entirely in Spanish and being forced to stay on the field while Howard felt the Mexican soccer team rubbed their noses in a drawn-out celebration.
At the Women's World Cup today, host country Germany, too much for Canada. We're in the 10th minute. Kirsten Garafikis, the beautiful finish off the header inside the 6-yard box, gets it to go. 1-0 for Germany. Then, 42nd minute. This is actually onside, believe it or not. Celia Okinyu de Miyabi scores. Germany would win this match 2-1. By the way, the United States opens up play Tuesday when they face North Korea.
All right, back to the Diamond NL West action. Angels and Dodgers are tied at 2 in the 9th as Tony Gwynn Jr. takes to the right and over the head of Vernon Wells. That brings in Trent Olshin with the game-winning run. Dodgers take it in 3-2 in dramatic fashion.
How about the Padres? They only had one inning where they turned it on today, though it was enough to defeat the Braves. They score all 4 of their runs. In the bottom of the frame, Chase Headley brings in Jason Bartlett. San Diego takes it 4-1. The final. So let's take a look at the NL West standings. The Giants are surging. They've won 5 in a row, so they hold a 1.5 game lead over the surprising Diamondbacks. Meanwhile, the Rockies, disappointing 5.5 off the pace. As I mentioned, they're heading to Chicago for a makeup game with the Cubs tomorrow.
All right, so once again, Denver East, David Oliver adds world class to his resume at this weekend's U.S. Outdoor Track and Field Championships. You know, local hurdle star David Oliver wasn't going to allow an injured hamstring that kept him out of the world meet in Osaka, Japan 4 years ago, and a strained calf in Berlin at the same meet 2 years back keep him from really beginning his international destiny today.
Because, as the 2008 Olympic bronze medalist put it after today's U.S. outdoor event in Eugene, Oregon, you just never know when you'll ever get the opportunity to represent the USA.
All right, so to the women's 100-meter hurdles, there's Kelly Wells, second place finisher at last year's Nationals. Keep your eye on lane 5. Wells, excellent start, bursts out of the blocks, keeps her form so smooth. She's going to pull away in 12.50 seconds, and Zubin, she is way overjoyed, Z. Take a look.
5-0 it's been rounding up to.
Sounds like she may have pulled her hamstring, but apparently she crossed the finish line there today.
Or acting like Cuba Gooding at the Oscars, just way dramatic, Z. But you know what? She actually did win this race. All right, to the men's 800-meter run, there's Nick Simmons, the 3-time defending U.S. champion. Bell lap, Charles Jock, the 21-year-old California high school state champion, leading in the yellow jersey. But here comes Simmons on his hip, driving in the orange spikes. Kadivas Robinson, the old vet in the black, the 4-time U.S. champ in this event, trying to lift for second, but Simmons has the margin, overcomes Booty Lock Z at the end to win in 1 minute, 47 seconds, and 17 hundredths. And finally, the women's 200-meter run. Carmelita Jeter already won the 100, going for the double, but she actually is behind. Coming off the curb, the lady in blue and white, Shalonda Solomon, has a step on her in lane 6, and it's still a battle to the tape, but Solomon edges her out in the final phase. Solomon is your U.S. champ in a time of 22.15 seconds, Z.
The Sprint Cup circuit hit the road course today in Sonoma, where Kurt Busch took home the checkered flag at the Toyota Save Mart 350 at Infineon Raceway. It was his first win of the season and first ever on the road course. Carl Edwards now has a 25-point lead in the standings. Regan Smith of Denver-based Furniture Row Racing finished in 16th place.
All right, so you ready for a big video, Z?
Absolutely. Tonight we've got an overzealous pair of announcers, not us, and a high school lacrosse game, to say the least. Take a listen.
Oh, boy.
Back to Pridemore, quickly up to Shaq Stanwyck. McDonough kills off the man down. Pike open on the low side. Greg Pike, believe me, sweetie, I got enough to feed the needy. No need to be greedy. Mad friends with Benzes and C notes by the Leias. I love it when you call me Big Papa. Goodness.
I don't know what was more impressive, that goal or that call by my man Booker Court.
Well, first of all, you know what, Z? I am not going to be calling you Big Papa, and that guy might be taking your rap deal, huh?
There's nothing wrong with channeling your inner Jay-Z. I think you did an all right job.
All right, well, that'll do it for this edition of Double Coverage.
Have a great night, everybody.